All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon, post Traders Talk edition, as always, as is every Tuesday. But Tuesday, November 24th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back, folks, here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. There we go. Got the whole team with us here. Bill, Mike, Jose, Bonnie. Great to see you all. Sharon, Kathleen, Kathy, the ladies of the room, along with Bonnie, of course, as well. Juan, Dan, and everyone else joining us. Perfect. All right. So, and for all of us on social media, as always, Facebook Live, YouTube, welcome on back. We ended up seeing FCell take quite a dive shortly after the market opened up today. It was looking great. It was looking healthy, as I had kind of phrased it inside our Traders Talk workshop earlier today. So let's zoom in on this chart to begin. We covered this, though, mostly just before, as I had said, but, we'll kind of catch back up with it from where we had left off. So, at least prior to the market opening up, like I'd said, the stock was looking pretty, good. It was bouncing off of big support, roughly over 855, 850. I'm not going to explain once again as to why that was such a big level. If you missed out, at least on Traders Talk, for any one of us inside the room, at least you can catch the recording. For all of us on social media, feel more than free to join us here at least. But ended up making a big pop at least once the market opened up. Over 10, the opening bell print, at least I will say, is 10:01. So, popped from 10:01, the open. But man, this thing sliced right back down under big pre-market resistance here at 985. And well, from there, it was smooth sailing on the way down. So we left off with this stock, pretty much at the time that it was kind of foiling up, like, around 870-ish or 9 even here, as you could see. It's so volatile out. It's like just even a tight range. You can see it's moving up and down in like 10, 15 cent increments. But nonetheless, once this ended up, breaking below support, all bets were off. This was a fantastic short. Once the, 855 level broke, 850 ultimately, once the iceberg on the bid broke there. But man, this was a fantastic drop off for such a cheap stock still. So, we talk about this inside our shorting class, which we actually just did earlier this week in the phase 2 course, well, yesterday, Monday. But we were saying for cheaper stocks, typically, 5 and below, they're listed as hard to borrow, more difficult to require to attain shares rather. But FCell, it was well below 5 before the pump up, but just even for an $8.50 stock, I'm just getting to, it's still pretty cheap to see it drop off over $1 cleanly on the way down to 7 and then broke below there to like 670 or 675. Man, just great opportunity just given this time of the day. We normally don't see it. So heading into the afternoon now, at this point, who knows? We're just going to keep an eye on this, definitely. It's a great play. We had mentioned this just yesterday during the afternoon meeting. It's just becoming a daily play, up and down. It's making great moves. So for right now, it's playing off to my levels pretty nicely here. $7 was holding pretty well. I ended up taking a small loss just before. I was in and out from 7 at first, but once it ended up retesting 7, I tried testing it again. I ended up getting stopped out for a 5-cent loss. Thankfully so. Dived off right away after, but come on, where are we at here, chart? There we go. This thing's really not being my friend right now. There we go, finally. So we ended up seeing this just break under and over 7. I jumped in pretty quick. And then once this ended up retesting 7, I tried the same exact move. And right once this broke over, I jumped in. The second I jumped in, I dived out because I knew it was going the other way. If it wasn't going to shoot up off of 7 right here, it wasn't going to hold it. So at that point, ended up diving back down. I didn't short it from there, but ended up continuing to push down to a low of 658. Ended up pushing back up for right now. So keep an eye on that 7 level. I said 7 because 7 was a really strong level back from yesterday. Look back really early on, not even so much going into the afternoon, but essentially a double top off of 695. 7 was the big iceberg, so tons of buying once that popped. So I was hopeful to see a stronger bounce. Haven't had it just yet, so who knows, maybe this afternoon, right? But just given the range, the opportunity, the fact it is shortable, so if it just craps out the other way once again, then we'd be able to see a drop. I guess 625 I wrote. We were talking about that likely in our Traders Talk workshop. All right, cool. So FCell just on our list to begin. Now, really at this point, I'll tell you, I took a step back heading into the early afternoon. We did great from the morning. I was talking my mouth off. So I ended up taking a small break. Rich ended up holding the fort down going into the early afternoon. I haven't really seen as much out there. So, it's hard for me to just comment on stocks that ended up just moving now. There's one or two stocks I've had my eye on, but they're not really, on the percent gainers or losers, at least here. So we'll go from top to bottom right now. It's not really a class day today, class tomorrow, but for right now, we'll just start from the top. So YJ. Interesting. Pushing up here, at least going into the early afternoon or late morning, rather. Popped from 415-ish, the high, moved all the way up to the high, the day 571. Just very choppy, up and down. You can see it. I mean, off the lows, it's one of these stocks that, off the lows across the day, you can see like a steady trend being built, but up and down, up and down. It just a lot of chop to it. Not really one particular level that's holding too well. So I'll be honest. I mean, I'll put this on our list by all measures. It's tradable aside from the fact that it is extremely heavily traded. It is holding near the highs right now, so I'll give this a look. Definitely like FSL at least so far more. We'll probably build up our list around those two, but see what else we have. Yeah, I mean, like this, you can see on the 5-minute chart. The 1-minute chart, obviously, it's building up a Fausto flag. High of the day, 292. You have a 22,000 share order on the ask at 290, though, so perfect timing. You never know what you'll find here. So just popped over a 23,000 share order at 290. Now, the issue here for me would just be, and it's not to say this isn't a great trade, but definitely a great trade to put this near the top of our list. But, major resistance you would assume at 3. There's only 15,000 shares showing right now in the matrix, but I would assume for there to be more. So you're probably going to see or need to see more buying in order for this to really make the pop you're hoping to see right now. So be a little careful on this here. Keep our eyes on this for 10 more seconds. Just see if it makes a sudden pop. But we'll continue to go down. It's going to pop probably at some point as I go through. Let's see how big of an order we have here. It just grew for a moment there. You saw that pop. 23,000. Just about the same size. A little refreshing there. All right, there's the pop. Let's see if it shakes around from here. 290 probably to act as a complementary level of support at this point. Let's see if this could really begin to move now, if it could hold over 3 and pop higher. All right, well, I'll tell you, I don't have class coming up. I do have a coaching session, so we do need to finish up at least at some point here coming up soon. I want to jump on Benzinga Pro, though. I want to see if there's anything else as far as to why this stock is moving up. I logged into Benzinga Pro. Shame on me. It's a quick login. And of course, just no real news right now. No news as to why the stock is pumping up right now, honestly. Not that I see on Benzinga Pro. Probably one of those low float runners just before today, at least prior to today, the 50-day average. 92,000 shares. Yeah, not really too much there. All right, so be careful on this. Looks good, smells good. Just if it ends up crapping out below 290, I'd be really careful. Jose asking, at least in the trading room here, just the setting stops, taking profits classes tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow, Jose. I know that's one that a lot of us are looking forward to. All right, so F-Tech here. I'll peel back the chart. Just this was more of a run from earlier today, right? Really from pre-market. Started pumping up at 7 o'clock. Ended up dumping off around 8:15, 8:30-ish. So I really didn't have too high hopes on this, but popped after the market opened up. That was just kind of noise to me. So that was actually something that caught me off guard, threw me off a bit, because when I'm making call outs, I'm expecting it to drop. So, I'm calling out 3, 4, 5 things in a row. I'm trying to trade myself, and I see this pop. I'm like, holy smokes, this thing is running up to 7. Well, it happened. It ended up pulling back down right away after. That's really no surprise. That's what we would expect to see. and the end result, it dumped back down. So unless if you can get the shares to short it, which I don't think really much of us can, then I'd pass. I don't expect to see this fill the gap back down here. Chuck says here in the chat board, the Robin Hooders like the symbol name. Moho, is that the reason why, Chuck? Maybe. GV, just flat buyout, my assumption. AIG warrants. Just there. Just a bunch of crap here going through. COCP, Co-Crystal Pharma, pretty choppy here. Pop and drop clearly. So at this point, I'm not as keen to put this on our list. So maybe we'll give this a second look later on. It's still kind of near the highs in relation to the trend up, but we'll pass. See, this one looks a lot better, at least. CEI, steady trend. This thing has a crap ton of volume to break through in order for it to like really squeeze up higher. I say that in jest, but like really, I mean, look at the size of the orders on the matrix here. Between that and then just the big one here up top at 126, that would be your destination. That would be your hope to see this push up closer towards that 126, even 120. You got a 25K seller. All right, so we'll see what this thing could do. Wayne Insider Trading Room picking up 12 cents on Moho. He got in from 307. Nice. Cool. We'll jump back to that definitely by the end. I mean, definitely on our list already, but let's see what it's doing. ENG pump and dump. So, ended up running yesterday. I was, interested in what this would do today. Another one that I thought would pull back once the market opened, For as much as it ran up yesterday, from like 120 all the way up to 250 high, pulled back. It gapped up higher in the pre-market. I thought it was going to pull back before the shoot up. So, another one that just popped right away like F-Tech threw me off guard. Well, look at it now, just dumping back down. So it ended up actually making your small mini bounce here. We'll see if it can hold support, but I don't really have high hopes for it. PEI, not to be confused with CEI. Not really doing much there, though. OPTT, pop and drop. That one doesn't surprise me, like the pop after the open. This one's been a huge runner for us in the past, so I was way more interested in this one, at least once the market opened up compared to some of the others. So off the pop, I was like hopeful to see a bounce at some point. A little one there off of around like 340-ish, but afterwards just came crashing back down. WPG Fausto called out earlier. Nice run, as soon as the market opened up. Definitely more of a level 1 trade at the time. Volume died off pretty fast. Pop and drop. ACB right now, this was one of like a couple I had my eye on heading into the afternoon. It's like coiling up. It seems like it's ready for a pop. It ended up pumping and dumping early in pre-market, pulled back here, and I was hopeful. I ended up taking a couple of tiny losses from 9, jumped in and out fast. Right now, though, just not doing much. So it's hard for me to just put this on our list here. Familiar name. We love trading the stock when it looks good, but for right now, not really much. But I love to see it. X US Steel. And for all of us inside the trading room, at least I'll say, this used to be like the stock I first did really well on, like back in 2015, 2016, years and years back. Just, this stock over time, though, for as much as it pumped up, it fell outside my personal price range just back in 2017, or more 2018. And then when it dived back down, it wasn't really that great of an opportunity. It was trading less volume. The order book wasn't as vivid, as clear to see to take better trades. And, there were other stocks to watch. So I took my eyes off this like day to day. But anytime X looks good, keep it in mind. And right now, it looks fantastic. So my X, my US Steel, definitely going to put this on our list. This was like a $10, $9 stock in like 2015, 2016 here. Making these like 20-cent moves here, I remember. All right, enough about that. But nonetheless, though, exit the high of the day looks fantastic. I mean, just for right now, I mean, don't really see much of an order up until 1436 even. Probably there's got to be something in between there. You know, it's through the NYSE, so there's probably going to be something through the ARCA book, through the NYSE. But nonetheless, though, I mean, you could see a 7,000 share order at 1436. All right, cool. So nice familiar name for myself. IDEX. I don't really even want to look at. If it looks great, just let me know. But that one from earlier and pop and drop, it looked like. AMC. I saw a chat here from one of us, from Norman. And AMC right now gaining a little steam here, I guess it looks like. Just made a move earlier, right? I wouldn't expect for it to make a second pump back up after dumping back down here. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list. See if there's anything good here. Solo warrants number 3. Where's Solo here? Number 10. This thing got beat up today. Got a few stocks that got beat up today. Obviously, Solo, you could see to the point where it got halted on the way down. Ended up reopening up much lower. Popped up, though, from that point. So, you know, is it a possible dead cat bounce heading into the afternoon? It's down 20+% today. It already bounced down so much. It looks like a big green volume spike just a moment ago. What the hell happened here? Gotcha. Hope it gotcha. There we go. 780, you could see no book map needed for this one, just classic tape reading. At 780 here, 454,000 share print, 491,000 share print. It would appear as if that's true, that is a lot of selling, so to say. So 780, critical support, needs to hold from that 780 level. That was just a few minutes ago, about 4 or 5 minutes ago. So from there, it instantly popped up. That doesn't mean it's going to continue moving up. So, if it pulls back down, breaks below that 780, who knows? All bets could be off. That would be a really strong setup, at least. So it's more the volume that's piquing my interest on this trade heading into the close than anything on this. I don't think Fausto would put this on our main list if he was doing the meeting, but I'm interested. I'm interested to see what happens. This could pull back down to 780. Bonnie got 15 cents on Moho, M-O-H-O, just a moment ago from 315 out of 330. Sylvester made a killing on Solo over the last few days, looks like. Very nice. All right, cool. What else do we have here, folks? A bunch of crap hard to borrow. Like, oof. I mean, you can't really short these stocks, right? So, we just kind of skip over them unless if they've gotten beaten up enough to the point of Solo or, maybe to the point of Blink. I see Blink warrants here. Blink down 18%, making that same type of bounce. The order book is just so spaced out on this. I mean, Solo is better in terms of liquidity compared to Blink. If they're moving up at the same pace, I'd rather trade Solo. It's cheaper, more liquidity. So, just skip over Blink for that reason. And then FCell, I mean, just with that in mind, I mean, this is already on our list just to begin, but if those stocks are pushing up, I would imagine that FCell in some relation, not perfectly, but there's your push. Ellen already on our list, though. All right, folks, I think that just about does it. Anything up, down, left, right, more than like 5%? We'll look at Benzinga Pro here first. So I'm not looking at the chat board right now. So if anyone called these out as I'm looking at them, then just pardon me there. But Saba ended up, I see BBBY first. Saba up 4%. Not a whole lot going on, though. I mean, it's a stock that's made a big move on the daily chart. So that piques my interest more than anything. Pumped up, dumped back down, a big gap down. And nonetheless, it hasn't really made a big move back up since. So, all right, how about this? We'll take best call out wins. So Saba, it's up there. It's pretty good. BBBY, looking pretty good. It's up 6+%, a little bit more expensive. So that would be the difference. But Otherwise, has better liquidity, I think. Trading more volume per minute. Oh, no. Wait, whoops. My dyslexia. I'm sorry. ALEC, Alec. Nah, this one's not looking too good. All right, we'll look at the chat board here. Yeah, it's from Sylvester. Vale, MYO. I'm looking for something that's up decent. Vale looks almost too slow. Is it worth the time? Are we watching the paint dry? You know, F-cell, at least based on the liquidity, you would figure it'd be slow, but man, that thing is rocking. So that's like kind of an exception. MYO, not really trading a whole lot of volume there. We talk more about like tradable, not tradable in the phase 1 stock course. You know, we'll be going over that exact course, that, you know, set of classes coming up in December. Mara pushing up. Wow, you know, so Mara and Ride, the Bitcoin stocks, so to say, the blockchain stocks. Let's take a look on Binance right now. Exchange my account. How we doing? Ripple is ripping. I will mention that very fast. Cardano is ripping. I will mention that very fast. Bitcoin, it's near the highs, but it's been kind of struggling today. So it's not really based on seeing Bitcoin like squeeze up right now. You know my stance on this. So we're going to pass on Riot. You know what caught my eye, though? It's the fact that Mara was up like 25% pre-market. Riot was only up a little bit. So Mara is making the sharper move. I will respect that, and I think Mara definitely will put on our list for that reason. Jose grabbing 8 cents on IDE. All right, let's take a look at IDEX. Yeah, nice jump, quick in and out there from Jose, but not really catching my eye to like put on the list. But you know, we were talking about this before. Pump and dump ended up making a very sharp push back up. So, you know, I just think for the volume trade, it just pretty exhausted. All right, from YouTube, let's see what you guys got here. If there's anyone from RJF, Solo finding a bottom. Yeah, so Solo, we just kind of looked at. Maybe that was just a few minutes before I went over it. Probably was, but yeah, I mean, pushing up pretty nicely. That huge volume that came in off 780 is catching my eye. That's all. Sava looking a bit spotty for right now. We'll keep that on the side. Bed Bath Beyond, though, I do like. This one actually has a gap to fill. It still has a little ways to go to try and break the top to try and, you know, fill that gap. 22.36 here, 22.18, which it's pretty much right there now. All right, that's it. All right, folks, really quick for all of us on social media, for all of us inside the trading room, I would imagine that most of you folks know this at this point, but I just want to mention this very quickly. Coming up this Friday, and it's actually launched already, we have our Black Friday deals just across the week, finishing up, I believe it is on Monday, the last day. So this is the best chance to get your rates on like the classes, the coaching, the Traders Summit, anything that we're offering here on this page. So for anyone on social media, just go right to the link on the banner at the bottom. It should show there for all of us inside the trading room. At least we post this pretty much right here on our homepage. You folks should see that. All right. So otherwise, I've been getting asked a few times over the last few weeks when you're going to launch it. I don't know if Fausto brought that up just over the last few days or not, but nonetheless, there you are. But aside from that, just for anything else, folks, just I'm going to jump back into a coaching session coming up pretty shortly myself. I'm going to be offline actually inside the trading room for the remainder of the day. Fausto will be live himself. He'll be back on coming up at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time heading into the afternoon. All right, folks, take care.